They say the 60s was crazy, but the 80s was worse. Crack fucked blacks and gave birth to a curse. The moon's bright, the sky's misty. Know my future cause I know my history. My life predicted by a gypsy. Murder she wrote at the end of the story, the streets get me. That's why I live quickly and always keep a pistol with me. Ghetto prisoner, won't stop fighting until I'm free. Raising a city of fallen angels where niggas ain't scared to bleed. If money's the root of all evil, then greed's the seed. This ain't living, we taking cause ain't nobody giving. America's a rich man's vision but a poor man's prison. So don't expect these politicians to give us a pot to piss in. Preacher man, stop preaching, cause niggas ain't finna listen. Folks done lost hope and stop trying. Life's a bitch from the start. That's why you come out your mama crying. The world's dying. And the people have gone mad. I take a shit on the White House and wipe my ass with the flag. When will the evil end? Too many browns and blacks in the system, victims of legal sin. In court praying for mercy when condemned by evil men. Ain't no love in the heart of the city. If it's a God, where is he? My homies dying over hundreds and fifties. I sit back, sip yak, and analyze the situation. Ain't a person alive today knowing the monster we facing. It crucified Jesus Christ, so Marcus Garvey for rights. Shot Malcolm X in the chest, gave Nelson Mandela life. Pac died at 25, Biggie died a year younger. All my life been broke, I'm motivated by my hunger. Told my mama bury me with a 357, just in case God tripping, I don't get into heaven. If he send me to hell, then oh well, cause I just did 19 years in the ghetto as a black male, and it can't get much harder than that. Had a lot of pain in my heart, that's why I started to rap. See, the mother brothers will make you dance, but justice will make you think. You saving up for a Bentley, I'm saving up for a tank. That's just the mindset of a soldier. Shit is crazy, huh? This is what I see. We are no longer slaves, but we sure ain't free. So until I ain't gotta kill and steal from my own folks, tattooed across my soul all these words I just spoke. Who the fuck y'all gonna call when I break all the laws on behalf of every innocent criminal?
And that was Pat's Justice, Innocent Criminal. Hello, everyone out there. Thank you for tuning in to this special episode of the VVS Flow. I'm your host, Sasha Dymond, and I'm so excited to bring a few things to you guys in preamble to the event that's going to be happening tomorrow at Toronto City Hall. It was written. I'm so excited to finally bring this event to the community and to my city. And I'm so happy to be able to, invite my aunt Kishma down, who is the mother of Devin McDonald. And Devin McDonald is the inspiration to the film that will be documented called Through Devin's Eyes, the documentary. And I'm going to be explaining about the documentary tomorrow to the attendees, and it will be streaming it live on Facebook, so you'll be able to see it as well. However, I think, being in person and being able to network with everybody and just meet a few people, some movers and shakers of the city, to be able to come in and, meet the game changers as well. And just people of the community, everybody's going to be talking and, flowing together, vibing. So I really would like to see you out there. If you haven't registered, it's pre-registration only, so you guys make sure you go online and register. So the substance to this episode is essentially about a few things that I want to share with you guys as far as statistical values go. So I wanted to start off by talking about what some of the statistics are in Canada and in individual provinces when it comes to incarceration and reintegration. There's an article written by Catherine McIntyre in the Torontoist magazine that says, Black Canadians represent the fastest growing group in federal prisons and are vastly overrepresented behind bars. Now, just to even start with that, I think that even people who are, unaware or uneducated about the prison system or the, journeys of incarceration, even us as a people, us as Black people, Black Canadians, how can you not be disheartened by that type of, that type of title, that type of, statistic coming and stigma? It's really staggering to know that a large amount of our people represent something so negative. And not to say that, everybody, once you go inside, there's already a stigma on you that yes, you're a criminal, even if you've been charged and you're, awaiting your sentence, and it's just remand after remand after remand. You're looked at as a criminal to a lot of people that are unknowledged, and just people that maybe don't understand the system. Even people that do, it's always a unneutralized territory when you're speaking to people who aren't knowledgeable about how the justice or the judicial system works. So it's very hurtful to know that, our people represent a large population of something so negative. So we're trying to change that negative view to a positive one, and try to figure out a way how we as people can come towards that type of statistic and change it. We want to know that, Black men and Black youth are changing those stigmas by being the successful ones, being deterred away from the life of crime and not feeling like you have to go into the life of crime in order for you to survive. We need to change that as a people. And that's what I'll be talking about tomorrow at the It Was Written event, just to, give a lot of context around where all of that comes from, and the root issues and causes of what we look forward to on a daily basis in the media and in our communities that have that representation of that negative view. So we'll be talking about that more in depth tomorrow, but I just wanted to leave that with you and, just think about that. Black Canadians represent the fastest growing group in federal prisons and are vastly overrepresented behind bars. Let's try to... So what do we as a community need to do in order to, educate people by the masses, even if, the incarceration life is not introduced or focused on in their particular lives? How do we bring awareness to what is happening in the Black community with the high numbers of incarceration, or people who are identified minorities? What do we do as a community? And that's what we need to come to together. And although, there's a lot of events that have these discussions and have, roundtable talks and things like that, and we try to put in an action plan. Now, what is making It Was Written different is we're trying to be able to partner everyone together, bring the resources that are here in the city that are publicly funded and privately funded, that, to be able to partner together to become that hub. Like, I really want It Was Written to become that hub for mandatory connection. I want to know that, when people are being reintegrated back into society, or even when someone gets arrested and, they may not have the funds to be able to hire a lawyer, and they might have to go through legal aid and all these types of things. I want them to be able to approach It Was Written, the organization, to be able to get the resource to speak to someone that would be on their income level, if applicable, or what the procedures are and the protocols, just on a civilian base, and for them to be able to understand what their rights are and things of that nature, just on a very basic level, and just be a hub for that. So partnering with lawyers, doctors, and, community resources that already exist, and community leaders and facilitators that know of youth groups and that facilitate youth groups and things of that nature, that would be able to assist. So that's what the outlook is for It Was Written. And I just want to know and be able to help as much people as possible and make it touch as much people as possible. And, another statistic that, really bothers me is that in the same statistical period as 2014 to 2015, a Statistics Canada article was written. And according to an article written by Julie Retineau, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, Julie Retineau, she made her findings in these statistics. And one of them is that Younger adults account for the majority of admissions to correctional services. Younger adults. So that means under 35 years old accounted for is 58% of admissions in adult corrections. Now, people under 35 basically are getting in trouble the most, they're saying, and being admitted or being sent to adult correction facilities, whether it's on a provincial, territorial basis, or territorial, provincial level. And Aboriginal people account for 1/4 of that admission. 1/4 of that admission to territorial and provincial correction facilities. That is crazy to me. And those types of statistics need to change. And I really want to encourage you guys to, if you're not already, doing the research, or, you don't know these things for yourself, and you're just someone just as I am, just in the community, wanting to know more, wanting to understand it. I really encourage you guys to come up tomorrow and listen and try to take in some of the knowledge that's going to be brought to the community. And I just really thought that it would be a great thing to be able to put these types of statistics out there and look at the action plan and getting them changed and seeing if they're lowered and making sure that it stays that way. So yeah, if you guys have any suggestions or anything like that, then, you guys can hit me up at the VVS FLOW at gmail.com, or you can send me a message on my Instagram, DYMONDCONCEPTENT. That's Diamond Concept Entertainment. Now, if you've been following me and you see anything that I post, either on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you'll see the name Devin McDonald almost all the time. And Devin's significance comes from him being incarcerated for almost 8 years, or more than 8 years of his life, of pretty much his adult life. He was inside, and he was such a good person, and people that were there with him have a lot of great things to say about him. And he taught people how to read. He constantly had literature and had, great support at home with his mom, Kishma Haynes, and you will see her speaking tomorrow at It Was Written as well. She was a great support for him, let him understand and knew that he was a king, and he was somebody who can change the world, and he's somebody who had the ability to make many changes in his community. And he was, preparing his mind, his heart to come home and make sure that he, made those changes. And the support that Kishma gave to Devin was beyond what I'm sure he could have ever imagined, making sure that he had the great books. He's always uplifted. She never missed a visit for a long time. And you'll hear her tell you as well the exact number, so I don't want to misspeak, but she talks about her missing, 2 to 3 visits in how many years, and that's insane. So I don't know about support, but that is definitely it. And under my definition anyway, I think that, once you have that support and you're inside, sky's the limit for you. Even if it's just mental support, financial support, definitely different and definitely needed. But then again, we're in Canada. We're in Canada, that's the US. We're neighbors, not living in the same neighborhood. All of the different laws that they carry, and the different stipulations that they carry, punishment in the justice system, all of those things are incorporated on a yearly basis and change. Some of the statistics are very staggering when we sit and think about the time of slavery all the way till now, when it comes to incarceration and mass incarceration. So I wanted to just further speak about Devin and what he stands for, or what he stood for. And, I came up with the idea to do a documentary at home here in Toronto first, because, this is where I grew up, and I'm very familiar with the justice system. Not only did I work for the ministry for a very long time, I also grew up in rough neighborhoods myself, and I was, exposed to a lot of people that were going in and out, whether it was provincial or federal. So it's very familiar to me when it comes to, the process and what happened. So when I was hired and I was put into the ministry, I was working in the courts. It was just very devastating for me to see, every other face, if not every face, was a black face. And that was mostly at the provincial level. And I was in the Superior Court as well. And, watching a lot of the faces come in and, watching the family members, completely crushed because their son, uncle, father gone just like that. And they have to go serve some time. Like, no, I'm not making any excuse for the people that, or for the people that get time that, did the crime and they knew what they were doing. I'm not in any way trying to make an excuse for that, but a loss to the community, even if somebody commits a crime, is a loss to a family member that loses somebody that might have been very, essential in their family, or somebody who contributed heavily. So just keeping those things in mind is important. And Through Devon's Eyes is my baby. The documentary is supposed to literally be through the eyes of the people who are being reintegrated back into society, and we want to see what life is like through their eyes while they're, reintegrating and trying to make a successful process, stay a successful life. And I'm very excited for, that to come out. And, it's a process, and I wanted it to be a community project. I want people to feel invested in it and feel like it's a part of their community and, their growth. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm really hoping that you guys can make it tomorrow and learn a little bit more about the documentary. And if you wanted to be a part of it, contribute to it, donate to it, you can email us at Through Devon's Eyes at diamondconceptentertainment.com. That's Through Devon's with a S, Eyes with an S, at diamondconceptent.com. If you have been watching anything on Netflix, I'm hoping that you caught the documentary called 13th. It's done by Ava DuVernay. And I recently was just scrolling through and seen that she did a interview with Oprah Winfrey on Netflix as well. So I just wanted to talk a bit about her interview. I wanted to first give you two statistics that opened up the film. So in the US, 5% of the world's population is what the US represents. So the US represents 5% of the world's population. 25% of the world's prisoners. That's 1/4 of the world. The US represents the prison population. And the 13th Amendment is what 13th, the documentary represents. The 13th Amendment, for those that don't know, is a part of the U.S. Constitution, and it's to abolish slavery and involuntary servitude except as punishment for crime. That's just the basic definition. So that's what the 13th Amendment stands for. And it was the first of 3 reconstructive amendments adopted after the American Civil War, just to give you a bit of context. So the interview, I thought that it was, as the documentary was, it was super, super easy to just understand. And although the statistics are staggering, and it brings tears to some people's eyes, because it's crazy. It's crazy to see the way it's been reformed. Like, it's not that slavery doesn't exist. It's just in a different form now. And I think Ava DuVernay did an amazing job at doing her interviews, and in such a great, tasteful way was able to articulate to us what some of these things mean, and some of the things that are happening currently in modern day in the States when it comes to, the justice system. it's just really crazy to watch, and it's hard to watch some of it. You know, there's a lot of historical clips in there as well, hanging or lynching, and just the abuse of Black people. And it shows at the end of the interview, sorry guys, spoiler, at the end of the interview, it shows footage of, it shows black and white and modern day footage. The black and white footage is, a Black man getting pushed by white folks in the States. They are pushing him, and he's not being violent with them, and just trying to, show nonviolent protests and just doing what he believes in, while he's trying to, walk through the journey of equality and trying to attain equality. He's just walking and everybody's pushing him. And then, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm not sure what footage that is specifically, that shows in the modern day, of a young lady that's at a rally. It was a Trump rally, and she's being pushed all over the place and told to get out. And there's a few other black folk walking up a stadium stairs, and people punched and kicked and try to push them out of the way as well. And it was just, I guess, Ava DuVernay's way of showing that, it hasn't changed, things haven't changed. And she also mentioned that, people have the ability to make a change, and to there's power in us to join together and have things change. And it was just very hard to watch some of the footage, but she does discuss with Oprah. Oprah was so intrigued at how she got so many difficult things as us regular folk would try to get done. As far as interviewing goes, indie filmmakers, it's not easy to get people to sit down. And she also speaks about a documentary being, it's research. It's research, and it's like an unraveling source of research. You go into it with this thought that, I'm here to prove this. I'm here to prove a certain point. I'm here to prove, to show a specific story, or to unravel certain findings. And you find yourself in a different path once you start unraveling these things and doing the research and becoming privy to certain information. It's crazy, some of the things you figure out, and it just takes you somewhere. And documentaries have a way of doing that. And I thought that Ava DuVernay's way of the way that she showed us exactly what's going on, and things like Alec, and she said it astonished her about what they stand for, or what they're really about. So by her doing the research, so she was able to articulate it to us, it was a great way of, showing an initiative, and being able to come out there and just speak on it, and even being brave enough to talk about not agreeing with the current administration. I think it's great. And it shows a lot of boldness and a lot of bravery. And I commend Ava DuVernay for doing that film. And 13th is a must watch. You guys need to watch it. It's very educational. And her interview with Oprah was very helpful as well, to kind of, just streamline everything and put everything in one place, and just kind of go over the film in essence, and what it took for her to make the film, and her success in the film. And it opened up a lot of eyes, and people that didn't even really, I can't even say people that didn't care, but more people that it wasn't present in their lives, didn't pay attention to it. It opened up their eyes as well. And that was great to hear. So I'm hoping that, Through Devin's Eyes is going to do that for us here in Toronto. We're going to start here and hopefully bring it to the rest of the country. And I'm just excited for this day to finally come. And, when we get to It Was Written tomorrow, I plan to make sure that you guys walk away with an impression and just a definite of change about to be made. And your participation is needed. I want you guys there to discuss, ask the panelists questions, be able to ask me questions, come up, say hi to me. So I want to know that you guys have an amazing time, and there will be so many informational sheets there for you as well, for you to pick up and leave. And we have some gifts for the youth as well. Any youth that attend will have an amazing time and meet some great people. So yeah, I just wanted to discuss a few of those things with you guys, and I thank you so much for tuning in. And this special episode is brought to you by It Was Written event that is happening tomorrow, February 25th, at the Toronto City Hall at 1 p.m. Refreshments will be provided, and I am excited to meet each and every one of you. It's been a long time coming, and I'm glad that, the first step is happening. So I want you guys to make sure that if you're not going to attend, do some of your own research, kind of take it in a little bit more. It's a subject that needs to be spoken about more often, and we need to be able to figure out a way to come together and, fix these things and fix it in a way that will allow us to raise our children in the best way and teach them along the process. Thank you once again for tuning into the VVS Flow. I'm your host, Sasha Dymond, where we bring the clarity to the real. I'm going to take you guys out with Gordon Banks, Where Are You?
There's a leader in you. You don't have to turn around. You don't have to make the news. You don't have to break a heart. Another mother falls apart and leave their children in the dark. And you go hiding all your scars. Don't gotta bring your tomorrows, the sorrows of today. Don't gotta change who you are to fit in some kind of way. I know the worst thing about being down when you're proud is you can't live it out, and you gotta find a way. Gotta find a way. Where you? I need you here. Where you? So we all can cheer. I hear what the cops don't hear. I hear that the streets are clear. I hear what you don't think I hear. And I'm here for you.
Somebody call 911. Old lady in the window, oh, that's not my son. Laying under them sheets, somebody just got murdered. Ain't nobody seen it, but everybody, they heard it. It was a cold night in Philly. Under the moon, youngin' thought he was cool. He was running with goons. It was summer of June, he was tucking the two. He never thought the night that he'd be the one on the news. Cause last week he robbed Keith, but Keith wasn't sweet. Caught him for 9 ounces and stuck him up with the heat. Come on, motherfucker, he just prayed on the week. But the week after he prayed, they shot him down in them streets. Early age to an early grave. Playing with them hammers in his early days. First class ticket to the pearly gates. Lost child running with the dogs. Wow, whoa, whoa.
Don't gotta bring your tomorrows, the sorrows of today. Don't gotta change who you are to fit in some kind of way. I know the worst thing about being down when you're proud is you can't live it out, and you gotta find a way. Gotta find a way. Where you? I need you here. Where you? So we all can cheer. I hear what the cops don't hear. I hear that the streets are clear. I hear what you don't think I hear. I hear. And I'm here for you. Not a day goes by that you don't wanna cry. Deep down inside, you're living a lie. Whatever's facing you, put your faith into every dream.